Hello everyone. Welcome to the stream. I'm just gonna get things set up, and then we shall get right into it. Also, if the USB sound effect plays, it's because I found a Series One Apple Watch in my drawer, and I'm trying to charge it up to see if it works. I can't remember where it came from. I think I must have got it on eBay a while back, and there's probably a reason why I haven't used it. So yeah, that'll be fun. Um, okay, there we go. Yeah, I don't think this watch works. Though we'll see. There is a decent chance the oh, hi there, Mr. Hoovy. You're the first one on. Hi there, Chicken King. I just talking about how I found a Series One Apple Watch. Well, two, two actually. Oh, let's turn the slide on. Thank you for the bits, Chicken. Wow, it's been a while since I've seen you around. Just been busy, I guess. But yeah, I found two Series One Apple Watches that I must have bought a while ago. I'm trying to charge them up to see if they work, and I do not believe they do. Yeah, we'll leave them plugged in over the course of the stream and see what happens. One of them just displays the Apple logo, and the other one just displays the charging symbol. And yeah, none of them get further than that, so maybe I'll do a stream where I replace the batteries sometimes. But thank you for the bits, Chicken. Oh, you know what I need to do? I need to set up the next goal I planned out. And don't worry, those will count towards it. This requires me going on Facebook Marketplace real quick. And seeing what the cheapest blender I can find is. Because guess what? We're doing a sequel to the infamous iPhone smoothie stream. How the hell? Well, I said the F word. Don't want to say the F word yet. Too early in the stream. I think Twitch will get mad. Okay, I found one for. Ooh, a free one. Oh, it's in Melbourne. Print, hell yeah. Been learning programming? That's cool. How come Facebook Marketplace just shows me ads from like outside my area? Okay. Oh, this computer. The fan is not sounding healthy. Right, we will. I hate it when it does that. It's so loud. I know you guys can't hear it, but it really, it really triggers me. Well, I wouldn't say triggers actually, more like a mild annoyance that I can't be bothered to fix. We'll set that up another time. Right, we've got driving to do. And yes, this is the highly advanced piece of machinery we have. And that is the slight incline that it is currently struggling to make its way up. Also, I left the door open on this one, and I can't be bothered to go shut it, because I'll never get this thing moving again if I get out. Yes, I hope everyone's been going well. It's nice to hear from you all again. I've been doing alright personally, but yeah. Right, we're still going for the zigzag method. Oh, what is going on here? Oh, Streamlabs just glitched out. Oh no. Oh, it's fixed itself. Technology. That's technology for you. It gets even steeper. Lovely. Just what we needed. Also, there is a new redeem. You can now use channel points to make me pick stuff up and bring it with us. Or make me get rid of stuff, as long as it's not, like, vital. It's really funny how this thing, like, often does better in reverse when going up hills. There must be more, torque or something. More power, somehow. Okay, this area here's looking a bit better, maybe? Easier to climb? I hope. Hmm.
Hello, Moto.
I always forget how loud that is. Hello, the Duke X. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're going well. I'm doing alright. Been trying to think of ideas for how to improve the stream. Also, did you see my new profile picture? Pretty cool. Glad you like it. I tried to keep the original colors of the iMac one, because that's sort of a classic at this point, you know. I don't think this Apple Watch is having any of it. Maybe that'll be the next smoothie. I just realized that's quite possibly the first inside joke I've ever created. The technology smoothies. Oh no, we seem to be a bit stuck. And the sun's going down. How nice. This can only go well. Hey, come on, surely this mountain's got to reach its peak soon enough. Alright, time for some sleep. I reckon this is going to be another fairly long stream. Longish. I started a bit later than usual. This is quite serene, actually. It's very repetitive, but it's kind of calming after a while. The fact that we're nearly at the top is even better. Seems like I always say, oh, we're nearly at the top, and then it turns out we're not. But I can feel it this time, oh, this is still way too steep. Oh, it's a bit too much. Dr. Delvin, hello? Yep, new profile picture. You like it? Nice. Glad you do. I've been using the old one for yeah, nearly 3 years, so it felt time for a refresh, you know. But I kept the original colors because that's sort of like a representative, I guess. Oh, Streamlabs is bugging out again. One sec. Fixed. The entire window keeps just going to a solid color, and I can't see anything, so I have to keep minimizing and then reopening it. I think it's trying to force itself into dark mode or something. Because I use light mode and I don't think Streamlabs likes that. I really should just up and switch to regular OBS at this point, but I've got everything set up the way I like it, you know? It's hard to switch when you've done that. Trying to accurately represent the meme about Windows crashing. That's another possibility. I did try using OBS, and the problem I have is you need to sign in to Twitch multiple times to get alerts working, to get streaming working, to get chatbox working. You have to copy URLs to get the chat working, and yeah, sometimes it still doesn't. And I know Streamlabs is a terrible company, but the fact that most of the time it just works and it's easy to set up is, yeah, what's lured me in. I wish I could just copy across everything from Streamlabs to OBS. And I actually looked into it because apparently I thought you could, and it turns out you can't really. You love it, but that's also after you spent too much time learning its ins and outs. A huge problem I had with OBS was resolution. A lot of the time stuff would end up being stretched out for some reason. And I think that's partially because my monitor is kind of a non-standard resolution in terms of a digital video, so when I'm displaying something, it has to be like squashed to fit. And Streamlabs seems to handle that alright, but OBS seems to, yeah, do things a bit weird. Yeah, canvas size and stuff like that. The average person doesn't know what a canvas size is or how to adjust it. I mean, I couldn't figure it out. So this is an ice biome, which is kind of neat. Once again, we're heading into an area with, like, no mesas. Yeah, I really should switch at some point, but there's no way I could do it without someone helping me. Oh, sure. Oops. I might do just that. Are you on my Discord server, actually? If not, it doesn't matter. You can probably just DM me, actually, since I go by my regular username there. I think it's time to save, because I feel like we're gonna have a bad accident, and I don't want to have to struggle up that hill again. Yeah, switching to OBS probably would be beneficial. Though I do like the convenience of just being able to, like, click add source and then set something up instantly. I need to add the next challenge actually sometime. Maybe I'll do that during a break. Yeah, this thing is bouncing around a lot more than usual. It feels like it's heavier going uphill and lighter going downhill. Which I guess kind of is how gravity works. Actually, no, it's not. I'm just making stuff up. The suspension is definitely less stable though at high speeds on bumpy roads. Oh, lag. It steered towards that rock of its own accord. I did not do that. I mean, I probably oversteered somehow, but yeah. Oh, I wonder if it's the ice on the road. Wonder why it's bouncing around. Looks like a pretty normal load. Yeah, can't possibly imagine why. Yeah, it could be the ice actually, if that's a feature of the game. It makes things more slippery. I honestly can't wait for this game to get its next update, because it's going to be a big one. Ooh, ooh. One thing I kind of hope we don't ever get in this game is a crafting system. Because I think that would mess stuff up. I like not having to rely on an HUD or anything. Just makes it feel more real, you know, when everything's actually displayed in game and there's no overlays. I mean, technically, yes. But yeah, like crafting exclusive items, I wouldn't. Yeah. Wouldn't be a huge fan of. I feel like I mean, it kind of feels strange to call this game realistic. Oh god, this is steep. This is steeper than going up. Yeah, things like that. I feel like there's so many better ways to enable creativity. I mean, case in point, the physics locking system where you can just attach pallets to stuff. There's a lot of creativity to be had there. Streamlabs is done it again. You know what? I can still see chat this time, so I'm just gonna leave it unless it gets worse. I wonder if I launched it and then I put my computer into hibernation, so maybe that's what's causing this graphical glitch. Yeah. Having things be like more tangible, like being able to dig a hole in the ground or cut down a telephone pole. That'd be fun. Oh no. And more like decorative items would be kind of interesting, like if you can have a small coffee table or something that you can just pop in your mobile home. More props to mess around with that maybe have some degree of functionality for survival. I mean, there are books. We have tons of them already. The Art of the Long Drive. You know what would be really awesome? Since there are books in the game, it would be so amazing if you could upload PDFs or EPUBs like you can with the custom radio and just read actual like documents that you created in game. I mean, it does raise an issue with each individual page, but I guess maybe you could make it so physics only applies to those. Actually, yeah, there's an easy way to work around that, actually. You just only render 2 pages at a time, and then when you turn a page, it turns it into like a solid chunk of all of them on that side, and then renders the next one individually. That makes no sense. I am not good at expressing my ideas for how game mechanics could work. But basically, it's just a solid object unless you're interacting with it. in which case you can actually turn the pages and things. That's an easy way of explaining it. I'd have no idea how to program that myself, though. Look, there's a plane. Wonder if we can see it with the binoculars. Probably not a good idea to do that while driving. Yes, we can. Windscreen keeps getting in the way. Someone asked about this last stream, so I want to kind of show it. But if we zoom in there, we can actually see the airplane. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Pretty incredible how, like, without the binoculars, you can't even see it. But they put the detail in anyway. I have to appreciate that. That is... That's pretty neat. It shows the devs care, you know? When they have that extra attention to detail rather than it just being a trail with nothing at the end of it. If only we had a surface-to-air missile so we could collect all the titanium ore in that plane and craft a better pickaxe. Aren't planes like mostly aluminium or something? I don't know much about aviation. Despite owning more actual flight equipment than the average person. Yeah, set dressing would be cool. And more seasonal items would be nice as well. Like, you know how there's pumpkins that spawn in the winter? No, during Halloween? How about Christmas trees that spawn in December or something? That could be fun. Oh no, another hill. That one isn't even that steep. It's like a bump compared to what we've just been over. Military planes tend to use a lot of titanium, but even the commercial stuff uses a lot. If one gets closer, I'll get out the binoculars sooner so we can try and deduce what it might be. I think people have actually uncovered the model in the files and realized it's like nothing in particular, but it's fun to speculate. What is that oil situation like? It is more than enough. We should be having no troubles here. Well, one thing we know for sure, this is a bit of game lore, is the plane is made out of wood. Which makes no sense given that planes made out of wood tended not to leave jet trails. Nope, wood. I wonder what the lore implications of that are. And another thing we know about this game, if you got it going fast enough, a wooden plane could leave a trail too of smoke and ash. I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. Another thing we know about this game, though, is it is possible to build your own plane. And technically speaking, there's already a flyable plane in the game. 2 if you count the UFO. Five if you count all the chairs. Eight if you count all the chairs and all the removable seats from the cars. Yes, I did briefly have a stream series where I was doing this game by flying instead of driving. But the thing is, it's slower most of the time. So it got kind of boring. Also, just like in real life, the heavier the plane you make is, the harder it is to get it to move. I love how reverse is better than first gear for going up hills in this vehicle. Kind of wild. I do find this scenery kind of beautiful. In a strange, surreal sort of way. Also, the heavier the plane, the harder it is to get it to stop moving. Well, yeah, that's one place where this game falls short on realism. You can easily get it to stop moving just by letting go. It stops dead in its tracks. Something else I discovered is you can actually put yourself in your own inventory in this game. I don't even know. But it seems to be, because once you put yourself in your own inventory, there's no way to leave it. And in multiplayer, you can put other people in your inventory. You just have to get them to sit in a chair that's attached to something that can be held in inventory. And it's kind of weird, actually. PWU. Pwoo. And XPy, XP, XPY. One sec, I'm gonna take this opportunity to fix Streamlabs again. There we go. I give it 5 minutes before the same issue happens. Is there even anything here worth taking? Wartburg parts, maybe? I mean, I'll take the opportunity to shut this door finally. Because that's been like that for a while. You know what I love? That's not even a car in the game. Yet. Who knows? That might be a foreshadowing. I kind of hope it is. That thing looks cool. Rear-engined, maybe? Oh wow, look at that. Oh, it's just a water tower. Rear-engined. It's kind of funny how many different kinds of vehicles there are in the game already. We've got water-cooled, air-cooled, rear-engined, front-engined. No mid-engined yet, but maybe one day. We'll get like a BMW Isetta or something, and that's mid-engined. Or a PLP50. Well, actually, if you count the motorcycles, then we've got mid-engined already. Yeah, we have air-cooled and rear-engined, water-cooled and rear-engined. Pretty much all of the engine configurations one could ask for. Lots and lots of unengined. I mean, yeah, in the state you find them. What do you reckon? Time for another save? I think it might be. Also, we appear to have entered a volcanic biome, which is interesting. I know it's not really a volcanic biome. It's the it's a mixture of the grass biome and the desert biome. Maybe the grass on the ice. I can't quite remember. Well, I like to call it the volcanic biome because it has sort of that volcanic ash look, sort of grey. Something I wouldn't mind in this game is if the hunger and thirst system was revamped a bit and farming was introduced. And you could just have like a plant pot of tomatoes on the back seat or something like that. Or even just like a decorative plant, like you can have a cactus in a pot, or yeah, plants from different biomes you find. Oh, come on, this isn't even that steep. Hi there, penguins. Welcome to the stream. We're going rather well, actually. Though it's time to skip this tiny bit here since it's apparently too steep for the van to handle. It's literally just a small mound before it goes downhill again. And we're having trouble getting over even that. Yeah. You know what would be cool in this game, and I feel like more games should have it? An option to set the in-game time to real time based on your location. So it moves like actual time does. Like one in-game day is one real life day. Yeah, it's the extension and the thing we're towing. Also, penguins. What do you think of the new profile picture? Yeah, even in-game time with the plants would be cool. And I'm not saying the game should be real time by default, just like as an option if you want an extra challenge. Confusing at first, but it looks really good. That's good. I tried to keep the original colors because those are kind of recognizable, I reckon. But also incorporated what I really look like, rather than the iMac thing. Ooh, it's it's not going well. Right, time to zigzag again. There's hills on either side of the hill. This is really not looking great. It's like 90 degrees almost. A real-time mode would be a fun way to do speedrun stuff. Yeah, it would. One thing I really wish is for them to bring back the snowmen for the snow biomes. But have them be kind of rare. Like not as common as rabbits are, just sort of every now and then you'll see one. Or one will sneak up on you while you're in a building. Because imagine how uneasy it would feel in this like totally empty world, just seeing a random snowman and then realizing it's moving towards you ever so slowly. But not like the Weeping Angel stuff. It's moving when you're looking at it too. Streamlabs just glitched out again. The problem is, I think, is I set up this stream yesterday, but didn't go live because it was too late. So what ended up happening was I set my computer to hibernate. And I think some programs don't handle that well. Because Streamlabs keeps having graphical glitches. Yeah, Penguins, I forgot to ask, but how have you been going? Well, I hope. Okay, how come it can go up this, but not up that? Oh, it can't do this either. Started with some back pain. I guess that's from, lifting all the rubbish bins then. Well, take it easy and remember to bend your knees, as everyone says. I used to get really bad neck cramps for no reason, so I know your pain somewhat. And if worse comes to worse, there's always yoga. Okay, things are calming down a little bit. In terms of the hills. I feel like with a world so big, this game really could make a bit more use of the space, you know? Like have side roads that stretch out for like kilometers and kilometers, but then may or may not end in something useful. I still think the idea of a railway track that occasionally crosses over the road would be kind of interesting. Yeah, with like an abandoned train you could scavenge an engine from. Or a running train that'd just smash right into you. I think abandoned would work better, but another thing is maybe every time there's like different sorts of crossings you can encounter, like maybe there's a level crossing which has a chance of the gates being up or down, and if you're not paying attention you'll just crash right into the gates. Or maybe there's a crossing that has just, yep, nothing at all. Oh no. I feel like having an actual running train that moves by itself might not be great, but maybe one you can find if you follow the tracks, and then you can just make it my long train ride. I think it would work better as more of a decoration thing rather than actual functional railway. Retrofit a train on rubber wheels. Yeah, or take the tires off the rims and drive your car on the tracks. But only some cars have the right wheelbase to match up with the gauge. Back to the Future 3 style? Yeah, I mean, they did that in real life as well. I've actually seen it happen. It's actually kind of interesting, and it kind of looks wrong. If that makes sense. Looking ahead, let's have a look at the what lies in store. If this thing will stop, which yep, it will. Something else that could be fun in this game. It feels like all I do on the streams of this game is talk about what I think would be cool. I should really learn to make mods so I can add these things. But yeah, if the only way to take screenshots was with an actual camera item, maybe not the only way, like, oh no. This coffin, this goddamn coffin. Well, time for 5 minutes of loading. Um... Hmm. Am I thinking a Polaroid or a 35mm or 110 situation where you need to find the right ingredients to develop the film? Not like that. But maybe different types of cameras that give different image effects. Like a disposable camera or a Polaroid. Or like a high-end thing with lots of zoom features and focus adjustments. But you don't have to actually develop the film. The pictures just get saved to a folder. But there is you do have to find film cartridges. And once you take 35 shots with one cartridge, you have to yeah. Okay, so here's the idea. You have the film cameras, and you have rolls of film, maybe with different ISO speeds or black and white film or something like that. And the rolls work like spray bottles or the shotgun shells or whatever, where it shows how many pictures are left when you put one in the camera. And every time you take a photo, it uses up one. And then you have to save the game and close it before they'll show up in the folder. Oh, and you have to use up all the pictures on a roll before they'll show up. And with disposable cameras, you just use up the whole camera and you can't refill it or anything. Penguin says bendy bus. Oh no. But that's actually a really cool idea. I really should mod that in. And if you get a Polaroid camera, it gives you the photo as an actual physical item in-game. Oh, that would be awesome. Oh, that would... Man, this is great. I feel like I need to note this down. Or go back and highlight it after the stream, because I need to figure out how to program just to make a mod that does this. Take a Polaroid of chat. Have I been going the wrong way? I think I have. Yeah, I was. Whoops. I was trying to reverse up the hill out of habit. But yes, the idea is different kinds of cameras and different kinds of film. Maybe some rolls of film only have 12 exposures, and some have 36. You get a camera, you load the film in, and then you equip it with F, and it lets you look through the viewfinder. Yeah, you can find different cameras of different quality. Yeah, and some with the film already used. Oh, and once you use the rest up, it shows you the pictures from the previous owner. That are just like randomly generated or something. Oh, we are on fire with these ideas. So you can find cameras of different styles and quality, some with like extreme telephoto zoom and stuff like that. And you load film in, and then you take all the photos. And after you've taken all the photos, they all show up in a folder. But you have to use up the roll first. And disposable cameras, you can't put new film in. You just use them, and once they're used, they're finished. And the Polaroid cameras giving actual pictures in game, that would be amazing. I really like this as well. This is like the best idea I've ever had. The thing is, it feels like it would be so easy to implement because most of the mechanics for it already exist in the game. You can already take in-game screenshots, like 3D screenshots and stuff. So it feels like it would be so easy to just have an item, and have the item that you put in that item, like with the guns and the bullets. And yeah, you equip it, and then you push the button, and it takes the photo. Oh, I love this so much. If anybody out there knows how to mod this game, and is interested in this idea, I think I'd pay for this mod. I think I would. Oh, you know what's even better? We can expand on this. 35mm film cameras. Like, no, I meant 8mm. 8mm movie cameras. Like home film video. Not video, just film. On a reel, yeah. And it shows you how many, minutes remaining. And then the outputted video file has like all the grain on it and stuff, and it can be out of focus and stuff. You know what? I feel like if this ends up being a thing, it should be the only way to take screenshots. Oh yeah, the whine of the projector. Oh, another idea just dropped. Slide projectors too. You can import all the film photos you take back into the game as slides. And then project them. This might be going too far with the realism, but what if when you take a photo and you use up a roll of film, instead of showing the individual images in the folder that it outputs to, it's one long image that has all of the pictures on it as negatives. And you have to like open it in Photoshop or Paint or something and invert it. Gimp it up, yeah. This gets better and better. I'm highlighting this. this part of the stream. Because this is absolutely incredible. Yeah, you can find all of the like darkroom equipment just lying around in various buildings. And then you can wait until nighttime and use an abandoned house to develop your photos. Getting people to develop their own pictures might be a bit much, actually. Although it would certainly be unique. I don't think there's any other game out there. I mean, any other open world game out there where the only way to take photos is to literally take photos and develop them. Did you see that YouTube video, actually, where someone built a film camera in Blender? Like, an emulation of one? I feel like these camera-related ideas are getting better and better, and also crazier and crazier, because I just had a thought. What you could do is shoot a hole in a container and then make a pinhole camera. I mean, it wouldn't exactly be pinhole. That's the thing, though. The long exposure. I feel like these are ideas that wouldn't work as just a standalone game, because what's the point? There's got to be like an actual open world thing behind it, like an incentive. Like if you're going around taking pictures of stuff that it's already been set up for you, then there's not much fun. But if you can like build your own car and then take a photo of it, now that would be awesome. I genuinely think this needs to be an actual feature in the game, or at least a mod. You can have black and white film, or slide film, which takes a positive instead of a negative. Or even a brownie box camera. Yeah, I feel like it. Maybe not that in depth. Maybe just a few different types of cameras in film. Like a disposable camera, like telephoto lens, some nice Canon or Nikon knockoffs. I mean, yeah, fair enough. You can do an initial pass, see how it resonates and adds more. I mean, that's kind of what they did with the firearms in this game. They added guns and then they added ammo and stuff when people wanted it. I remember when you couldn't reload revolvers in this game. They were like single use. It's such a pain. Yeah. It's alright. I mean, for a while it was the best, one of the best weapons you could have. I think if the camera idea happens, it's got to start you off with a camera somewhere in the starting house, Like a random one? And maybe there could be like rarity, like the better cameras are harder to find, or color film is more rare. Something else that would be pretty cool if the idea takes off. You know what I'd do? I'd definitely mount a film camera on the dashboard and have like a dash cam. Like a movie camera. I mean, such things did exist. Usually only for specialized purposes. And weren't constantly rolling, but... Oh, another good idea? Some cameras have to have timers, and there's got to be like tripods as well. Well, I guess you could just use boxes and things instead of tripods. But yeah, you could set like a you could set everything up, like frame the shot, and then set a 3-second timer to get in the frame. The tires are gears for the film roll. The car doesn't roll if you aren't feeding new film. Yeah, that's a bit extreme. But yeah, the ability to like make movies in game, like put a film camera on a tripod and drive past it, or maybe put one on the road and then drive over it for cinematic shots. And then what you could do is you could splice it. This is getting a bit out there with the ideas, but you could splice it and edit it together. I genuinely love this idea. I really think this needs to be either a mod or an actual feature. Anyways. I think I got a bit overexcited there. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the specifics of programming or anything, but this feels like it would be a relatively easy thing to implement. Since the game already has screenshot functionality, and not even Steam functional, not even the Steam screenshot stuff. It's got its own screenshot features already. Yes, it is Unity. Not sure what version though. But the thing is, this is literally just the camera that exists in my summer car, but more of them, and each one has different specifics. And my summer car's a Unity game as well, so... Just thinking to my mucking with Unity camera times as to what you can do there versus taking a screenshot and trying to filter it or convolve it into adjusting for a different camera. I feel like the easiest way to do it would be to just take a screenshot and then, depending on what camera and what film, and I don't think there'd be swappable lenses, that seems a bit too in-depth. Oh, you can do a lot with the Unity camera object? That's interesting. But I think in terms of, with the combination of different camera and different film, I mean, there'd probably just be color film and black and white film, not different speeds, since that's a bit too involved. So the way I see it would work is, you get to look through the viewfinder. Like, by equipping the camera, you look through the viewfinder. And then, when you push the shutter, it takes a screenshot of what the camera is seeing, and then, depending on what camera it is and what film is in it, and of course how you focused it and everything, it applies filters before applying a, like, what is it? Yes, negative, before turning it into a negative. And then it stores that somewhere in the game's files, and once that roll of film is used up, it puts that into a easily accessible folder. The Polaroids one is probably even easier because you can just make an object for each photo. Yeah. Thing is, we already have the binoculars in the game, which sort of work like a camera already. In terms of, you look through them. So I'm imagining similar functionality to that, but maybe, some of them would have adjustable zoom and focus, and others wouldn't. And a flash, which just creates a light source when you take the picture. That's also probably easy to implement, but then again, what do I know? I feel like actual, yeah, video would be harder. So maybe like an 8mm camera wouldn't be a thing. until it's a trusted concept and we know that people like it. $8mm would be fine if the frame rate and resolution can be hilariously low. I think there are a lot of different standards, but I think 8mm is only like 15 frames a second or something. Maybe less. And the resolution's like 720p, 480p, something like that. I mean, it's film, so it's not really got a resolution. But in terms of what you can scan it as before getting diminishing returns, I think it's 720p, so 480p would probably be fine. 480p at 13 frames a second. Color film is weird. I mean, you don't really need to get too specific. With the conversion, I think just 480p would be acceptable. And of course, you'd always have the option to boot up OBS and screen record that way if you want the full actual resolution. And the same, Steam screenshots are always going to be a thing too, even though I joked about the cameras being an only way to do it. It's more of just like a fun novelty thing, you know? Yeah, it's more of an experience, and it's more of like a... Yeah. Maybe I can make it so the mod disables your F12 key when you've got the game open. Nah, that's getting into virus territory. But Delvin, do you know how to make mods for this game at all? Because if you do, I would help in any way I can to get this created. I'd 3D model some cameras or something. I actually have a lot of experience with Polaroid cameras in real life, and I have a small collection of them, so... Well, the thing is, this game does have a mod loader. So I think that takes care of most of that. And how I've seen most of the mods that add extra items seem to work is they replace an existing item. So they'll take like a small useless thing, and then they'll make it so there's a chance that this other item can spawn instead. Like a trophy or a music box or something. This is all just me speculating though. Is the mod loader first party or third party? It's third party, but it does seem to be endorsed by the devs since it's on the official Discord server. This is such a good idea. This is the best thing I've thought up all week. Maybe even all fortnight. You got into some steam hot water. That's strange. Well, the thing is, lots of people have already made mods for the game using the mod loader without issue, so I don't think there's too much of a problem. And it's a separate program as well. Like, it's not related to Steam. Yeah, I feel like I should be noting down all of these ideas and specifications and things. Oh, it was more to indicate your clumsiness. Fair enough. I believe it can be done, though. And famous last words, but I don't believe it would be the most difficult thing in the world. People have added whole new vehicles to this game through mods, so this feels like it would be a tad simpler. Then again, maybe not, with all the image processing and stuff. Still, a proof of concept, maybe. Where color film takes a color photo and black and white film takes a black and white photo. And then it could be expanded from there with more cameras. I'm very excited about this now, and even though I know there's a decent chance nothing will ever come of it, I still think it's an incredible idea. And would really fit the theme of the game. Maybe I'll make some concept art. Because from what I know at the moment, it's actually not that hard to just inject your own model into the game. The hard bit would be getting it to be functional. But yeah, I might raise this idea on the modding section of the Discord server and see if anyone else is interested. But I think what you could do is you could make it so... Thing is, the guns in the game already have much of the same physical sort of mechanics as the camera would, with the loading of ammo and stuff. So you could make it so an AK has a chance to spawn as a camera instead, and the ammo has a chance to spawn as a roll of film. And then you can just load them the way you normally do. Have we spent like an hour talking about this? I can't see how long I've been live for because Streamlabs keeps bugging, but yeah, we've spent like half an hour. Sorry, what was the please do about? I'll get my Newton out and take a memo. Sharing it via Discord, okay. Yep, I will definitely do that. I love how you're the only one online at the moment, and we're just chatting to each other about this silly mod idea. Who am I kidding? It's not silly, it's genius. It would fit right in. In fact, I might, Dr. Delvin, if you're going to be on for much longer, in like 20 minutes or so, I think I'll wrap things up and we'll open a just chatting stream. Where I'll write all the ideas down. Just so we have everything sort of concrete. Like on paper so we can work with it. We'll have a section for basic ideas and for potential future ideas. Cool. Awesome. What time is it for you, by the way? Oops. You know what, we'll just... I don't know where my last save is, so we will clean this up and then save. Here's the basics plus hey, you could do this is a great way to lay things out. Yeah, it kind of is. I feel like the basics would just be one camera and maybe color film and black and white film, and you have to use up a whole roll before it'll show the pictures, and advanced would be the stuff where it takes it as a negative, and then all the slide ideas and things. Oh wow, this fell off. First time in a while that's happened. Where'd my odometer go? Oh, it's right there. Right, so now the question. RTF file or TXT file? Rich text or plain text for this? TXT then. I mean, that makes it easier to just copy it and send it as a message in Discord. If you wanted a picture in your document, you'd use a virtual camera in Long Drive. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. All because it wouldn't reverse. Don't worry. There we go. Right, let's park it up, save the game, and write all these ideas down. Okay. I'll open this. Let's open up Notepad. I will switch to screen capture. There we are. Yep, just regular Notepad. Let me turn off game capture as well. That's strange. It's showing my wallpaper as a black background for some reason. Oh wait, nope. That was just the fact that my screen doesn't fill. Oh yeah, that's my wallpaper. I picked it because it has very Long Drive vibes. There's a funny story behind it as well. This is actually a from an Australian telecoms ad. Basically, in Australia, we have two main telecom companies. One of them is newer, and one of them is older, and used to be privately... Actually, no, it used to be government-owned, but it's since been privatized. And this is the new one poking fun at the old one, because the old one still runs all the payphones. And the pyramids are just to... hang on, the pyramids are relevant somehow. Yes, the text for the ad was Empire's End. That's what they do. Because for the longest time, this company had basically a monopoly on telecoms in Australia. So they're kind of symbolizing that with yeah. You don't need me to explain it. Well, the thing is, Bell was always private, wasn't it? Here, for the longest time, it was publicly owned, which, yeah, was actually better if you ask anyone who was around from the time when it was. What is kind of hilarious... Sorry, I'm getting way too involved talking about this, but what is kind of hilarious is the company that owns and operates all the payphones, slightly in response to this, we think, has since made all the payphones free to use. So now payphone calls cost nothing in Australia, which is pretty neat. Right. Let's see. Hang on, I'll change the stream description. Camera facts. Okay, so first up we have... I'll have that in the background so it still counts as being in the long drive category. Okay, so first up we have... basics. That'll be... I'll just do dot points as full stops. 2 types of film, you reckon? One camera, no adjustments. Possibly a disposable camera. Possibly a disposable camera, so we don't have to model. Can you actually see this? Can you see this all right? Is this an okay resolution? I'm trying to zoom in a tad, but it really doesn't let me do it too much. Okay. Is this alright? Can you see what's being typed? Okay, so 1 camera, no adjustments, possibly a disposable camera. So we don't have to model film. We don't. Camera object in game you can equip and use to take pictures. Pictures can be in color or black and white. Doesn't develop. You save pictures in a readable format until you use the whole roll. Okay, there we go. I'll put that in as well. Oops, that I forgot this program doesn't do carriage returns. I think we'll have to go for RTF. Just because I don't think I can live without my precious carriage returns. Don't I have a... Okay, so... Hang on. New... Rich text document. Here we are. In saying that Windows just comes with this for free. And I'll copy in your description. So rich. We can add a paint drawing. Okay, and we'll put in basic concept. Okay. And we'll specify that, say at minimum, because there could either be something, they could either be developing in them, sorry. They could be either developing them in-game or finding a photo hut to drop them off at or something. I reckon developing them in-game is not the best way to go. I reckon after you use up the whole role and save the game, then the pictures show up as negatives in a folder. Or maybe even not as negatives, if that's too hard to implement. Okay, into the whole... what is the smallest amount of film roll amounts? So, I guess, what is the minimum actually? It's like 12 to 36, isn't it? $24 and $36, assuming it's a fresh roll. Okay. Cameras can take between... That might have been 16. Maybe I'm misremembering things. Okay, so... Yeah, it looks like 16 wasn't really a standard. But I think we'd include 16 exposures just as like a minimum. So, like if you find one, you don't have to use up 36 photos. Just a sort of like a mercy thing, you know. And take either 16, 24, or 35. No, 36. And can't be reused, okay? Basic concept. And now it's time for level 2. I suppose we'll say. And that will be, cameras can... This would be disposable versus reloadable versus Polaroid instant. And, I think basic concept is disposable. Level 2 is reloadable. And level 3 is Polaroid, and level 4 is moving pictures. And reloadable could also have adjustments like focus, zoom, and I suppose that's about it. I think exposure would be a bit too much. Maybe flash, though. Actually, we might add those things to other levels. Okay, so level 2, cameras can... The thing is, we'd want to keep the basic concept of disposable cameras as well. So we'd have... non-disposable cameras that can be refilled with film found around the map throughout the game. I cannot spell today. Let's see, we'll say, this seems about right. Non-disposable cameras that can be refilled with film found throughout the game. Film has the same properties as what's found in the disposable cameras, I guess. Meaning it can be either black and white or color. Yes, that'll be in level 3, I think. That seems like it would be kind of hard to implement, though, because the game would have to, like, render a scene, then take photos of that. Or maybe they could just be some, like, preset ones, rather than, like, randomly generated things. Yeah. Being either black and white or color. And we'll say non-disposable cameras may have adjustments such as zoom and focus. We'll say will, actually. We'll say may spawn with adjustable features. Such as zoom and focus. And all cameras may spawn with a flash. Built-in flash. I think not. Don't want to get like too in depth. And I'll put in brackets here the same way and we'll say you can't take a roll of film out until it's used up. That would be a minor thing to do. I reckon these... maybe. That way you don't have to... The thing is, it would look more streamlined if the camera had a built-in flash. But then again, you'd have to then model cameras with flashes and without flashes. But then again, there's some cameras like Polaroids which always have flashes. I mean, the ones we'd add, but... Right, level 3. Yes, they can have a flash in this level. Actually, should we move flash and features to the next level up, I reckon? Just have this be replenishable film? Yeah, I reckon we should. Or leave it, maybe. What do you think? Leave it, yeah. Reloadable film is a minor adjustment. And adjustable zoom and focus would probably be easy as well, since the binoculars already exist that essentially do that, but automatically. Well, the thing is, I'd say level 1 would just be disposable cameras, and level 2 would be disposable cameras and different cameras that are reloadable. Okay, so level 3 would be... I don't think level 3 would be instant cameras yet, since that requires creating a whole new item each time a photo is taken, but level 3 would be... Actually, I think we'll add to... Yeah, level 3 would be... used... Just one... Okay, so if level 3 is photos develop as negatives, the output of a used film roll... I'll say the file output of a used film roll is just one image. Okay. The negative stage should allow for a way to develop them as images in-game. I'd say the negative stage also adds 2 extra folders for slides and for actual images, and dragging pictures into those folders just makes them appear as photos in-game. I mean, chemical development as well, that could be a thing. What you could do is man, there's a lot of things to consider, but I think okay, so level 3 is photos develop as negatives, and there's a better way to word this. The files that are Okay, so photos develop as negatives and used film rolls can be used in game. Photos develop as negatives and used film rolls can be used in game to print pictures onto photo paper by using a bright light or projector. I think actually having the chemical developing process would be a bit too difficult for people to understand. But if you give them the negatives and just say, hey, stick this in front of a bright light and stick this paper there as well, and then it'll appear, then that'd be a lot easier for people to understand and sort of stomach, I guess. And of course, you still get the pictures as files as negatives as well, so you can just edit those. You still get the pictures in a folder. Level 3 would also include slide film that takes positive photos by default as well, I reckon. Okay, we'll say unless a new type of film was used. Unless yeah, we are in the minority. But you can still have the pictures. Yeah. That's why I think adding slide film would be a good idea. That way you don't have to bother about taking the actual files and converting them to be positives. slide film can be used to make the take the I have trouble describing these things. We'll say photos develop as negatives, and used film rolls can be used in-game to print pictures onto photo paper by using a bright light or projector. You still get the pictures in a folder on your computer, but these are negatives as well, unless slide film was used to take them. Because slide film develops as a positive by default. This is the most boring content on Twitch, but it's so exciting to me. I feel like we could add instant cameras to level 3 as well. Because we're already adding a method to print the pictures in game. Yep. But these use a different type of film. Because Polaroids obviously have their own special film that it has all the chemicals contained. Instant cameras that print the picture immediately after it's taken can be found, but these use a different style of film. It's a different kind of film. And level 4 would be moving pictures, you reckon? $8mm home movie cameras that can... Yep. Low frame rate and resolution. We'll say... what's the actual 8mm frame rate? I think it's 13 FPS. We'll cut it down to 15 because that's a nice round number, I reckon. Do you reckon that'd be too much? We can always go lower. A lot of people out there play this game at like 10 FPS, so... Chord up to... Let's say, up to... You're not specify it as a hard-coded thing, yeah. The max time would be like a... What is... How much time do you get from an 8mm film roll? Okay, so usually you get about 4 minutes. Yep. 4 real-time minutes. Okay. And we'll add in level 2 that you can look through the viewfinder as well. All cameras can be equipped like any other item. And doing so allows the player to look through the viewfinder and adjust settings. Of video. Okay. And the film can be played back and is saved as a file as well. We'll say minor Easter egg things remaining here. As before, there's the partially used film situation, and then there's your thumb was over the lens for the disposables. Yes. We'll add that in level 5 as just little tidbits, I reckon. And we'll also add things like tripods there as well, maybe. I think tripods could go in level 3, actually. Okay. Accept disposables. Okay. And 8mm would have low resolution and frame rate. No sound. Black and white or color depending on film used. Level 5 would be Easter eggs such as partially used film rolls with pre-created images with images from previous owners. Possibly showing their fate or something. Oh, you know what would be really cool here? Actually, no, that's a terrible idea, actually. I was going to say players could upload their pictures and film rolls could spawn with other players' photos on them, but people would just upload the most horrible stuff. Oh, that's a good one, actually. Okay. And we'll say... We'll also say, oh yes, so disposable cameras have the chance to produce unusable pictures. Yep. And we'll say... I think level 3 would... maybe we'll put that in level 5 as well. This may get read by someone who never used a film camera, so I want to specify the classic disposable experience. Fair enough, fair enough. We'll say all cameras take different quality photos. With disposables with disposables having the chance to produce unusable pictures, such as thumbs on the lens, or over/underexposed. Okay. Think that's good. It depends on the Polaroid. Some of them are SLRs and some of them aren't. Like, the ones most people know are not, but at the time the world ended in-game, the only ones available would have been the higher-end SLR versions, which actually show the what the lens is seeing. Then again, this game doesn't really have much of a set time frame, so we could do one of the one of the later ones. From experience, though, it is quite hard to put your finger over the lens on a Polaroid camera by accident. Much harder than a disposable camera, simply because Polaroids have much bigger lenses. Okay, what do you think? So I'll read the whole thing back. The basic concept is a camera object in-game that you can equip and use to take photos. Pictures can be in color or black and white. Doesn't develop until... Okay, so it doesn't develop, i.e. save pictures in a readable format in screenshot folder until you use the whole roll at minimum. We won't say roll yet because there aren't rolls. We won't say at minimum because to use all the shots on the camera. Cameras can take either 16, 24, or 36 shots and can't be reused. Okay, level 2 is non-disposable cameras that can be refilled with film found throughout the game. The same way the AK reloads magazines, except film rolls cannot be removed until used up. Film works the same way as in the base concept, being either black and white or color. Non-disposable cameras can spawn with or without adjustable features such as zoom and focus, and all cameras can spawn with or without a built-in flash. All cameras can be equipped like any other item, and doing so allows the player to look through the viewfinder and adjust settings. Level 3. Photos develop as negatives, and used film rolls can be used in-game to print pictures onto photo paper using a bright light or projector. You still get the pictures in a folder on your computer, but these are negatives as well unless they were taken with slide film. Instant cameras that print the picture immediately after it is taken can be found, but these use a different kind of film. All cameras, except disposables, have the option to set a 15-minute timer and can be placed on tripods, which allows adjustment of settings without moving the camera. Level 4. Without holding or moving the camera. Level 4. 8mm home movie cameras that can record 4 real-time minutes of video per film roll. The film can be played back using a projector in-game and is saved to a file like other pictures. Low resolution and frame rate, no sound, black and white, or color depending on film used. Level 5. Easter eggs, such as partially used film rolls with images from the previous owner, possibly showing their fate, or random third-person shots of the player. All cameras take different quality photos, with disposables having the chance to produce unusable pictures. Thumb was on the lens, over/underexposed. What do you reckon? I think that's pretty good. I think the game needs this as a feature. It would be amazing. Well, we'll save this. And yeah, if anybody knows how to make mods and is interested in this project, feel free to contact me on Discord. My name's DialUpDude on there as well. And yeah, I think we'll wrap up the stream here. Thanks for the help, Dr. Delvin. I might send you a Discord DM and we can possibly start learning how to actually make this a reality. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow, I reckon. Right.